Welcome to Angel Wings Productions.
Good evening. I'm Toby, digging into the stories that truly move the world, especially the money that makes it go round. I'm delighted to be your financial expert. Think of it as a blend of Lawrence O'Donnell's sharp political insight and Rachel Maddow's tenacious, fact-based analysis, all focused on your wallet and the global economy. Let's cut right to the heart of the matter and analyze the top world events with a keen eye on how they'll impact the everyday consumer. Top world news and financial analysis with Toby. 1. The tariff tangle. A new wave hits the consumer wallet. Top financial story. The biggest headline dominating global markets right now is the escalation of U.S. trade tariffs, with new substantial duties set to take effect on October 1, 2025. President Trump has announced a stunning 100% tariff on imported pharmaceutical drugs, with exceptions for companies building U.S. plants, a 50% tariff on certain home furnishings, like kitchen cabinets, and a 25% tariff on heavy trucks. The financial fallout and consumer impact. This is a seismic shift that directly affects the consumer. Pharmaceuticals. A 100% tariff on imported drugs is a direct, sharp blow to the cost of healthcare. While the intent is to spur domestic manufacturing, which saw some drug maker stocks surprisingly climb initially, the immediate result is an increase in cost for consumers who rely on those imported, branded, or patented medications. This adds severe pressure to household budgets already strained by inflation. The consumer is the ultimate payer here, and health is the highest stakes sector. Home goods. Tariffs on kitchen cabinets, vanities, and upholstered furniture mean higher costs for home remodeling and decor. This immediately hits industries like Wayfair and RH, as well as the contractors and small businesses that supply these goods. For the average person, that dream kitchen renovation just got significantly more expensive, further sidelining a housing sector that's already weak. The market trade. This risk-off sentiment due to trade uncertainty is keeping the broader S&P 500 cautious, though some U.S. and Devon, domestic names like truck manufacturer PACCAR, saw gains on the news of lessened foreign competition. Nonetheless, overall market uncertainty dampens investment and makes long-term planning difficult for companies and individual investors alike. The Fed's easing path and the inflationary tug-of-war. Top financial story. The U.S. Federal Reserve appears to be on a path of monetary easing, with the markets widely pricing in a strong chance of another interest rate cut at their upcoming meeting. This decision is informed by recent data. August's core personal consumption expenditures, PCE price index, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, came in right on expectations at 2.9% year over year, which is still elevated but tame enough to fuel rate cut hopes. The financial fallout and consumer impact. This is a classic push-pull scenario for the consumer. The good news, hope freezing. A Federal Reserve rate cut in October would be a signal of cheaper borrowing costs on the horizon. This could eventually translate into lower interest rates on variable rate loans, credit cards, and auto loans. The anticipation of this has already helped keep bond yields down, which is good news for the housing market, as it could prevent a further spike in long-term mortgage rates. The bad news: inflationary pressure. Federal Reserve Chair Powell noted that while inflation has eased, goods prices are on the rise. And incoming data suggests those increases are largely due to tariffs, not broader price pressures. This means the Fed is cutting rates into a trade war environment. The 1-2 punch of a tariff-driven price spike and an easing-driven increase in money supply risks, keeping overall consumer prices high, undermining the very cuts meant to help the economy. The consumer may get a slightly cheaper loan rate, but the actual cost of the goods they buy with that money continues to climb. 3. Geopolitical tensions and the new energy landscape. Top world event. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine continues to exert pressure on global energy markets, with oil prices rising in the wake of recent Ukrainian strikes on Russian energy infrastructure. Concurrently, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the world's biggest cobalt producer, a vital metal for electric vehicle batteries, is ending its export ban but moving to a quota system. The consumer impact. Energy prices. The instability in Europe means volatility at the pump. When oil prices spike on geopolitical tension, it immediately raises the cost of transportation for everything from your Amazon delivery to the groceries on your shelf. This is a significant unseen inflation driver. The EV market. The shift in cobalt supply rules will likely keep the price of the metal high, which in turn places upward pressure on the cost of batteries and, ultimately, electric vehicles. For the consumer who is considering the transition to an EV, this adds another financial hurdle and keeps internal combustion engine vehicles more cost-competitive for longer. The energy transition is not a straight line, and these global supply chain politics are making it a bumpy, expensive ride. Local news report. Los Angeles, California. And now, let's turn to a familiar face for the local stories that impact our community right here in the City of Angels.
Here is Janine Holcomb with the top 5 local news events for Los Angeles, California. Janine Holcomb, Los Angeles Local News. Good evening, Los Angeles. I'm Janine Holcomb, and here are the top 5 local stories making headlines across Southern California today. Starbucks closures hit LA hard. A list detailing significant Starbucks store closures across California has been released, with the bulk of the affected locations concentrated right here in the Los Angeles area, particularly downtown. The company cited safety and operational concerns. This is a story affecting not just your morning routine, but local jobs and the day-to-day rhythm of our neighborhoods. Fatal hit-and-run investigation. The LAPD is actively seeking the driver responsible for a deadly hit-and-run crash that tragically killed a bicyclist. This heartbreaking incident serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need for safer streets and more accountability for reckless driving across our city. SoCal weather shakeup. Rain and cooler conditions. Southern California is finally getting a break from the heat as rain and cooler weather move into the forecast. Muggy conditions associated with the remnants of a tropical storm are contributing to the shift, bringing a welcome change for some, but also raising concerns about flash flooding in our recent burn areas. LAX drop in global airport rankings. Los Angeles International Airport has fallen in the global airport rankings. With the Olympics on the horizon, the decline is raising questions about the pace of the airport's pre-Olympics transformation and whether the current construction and infrastructure projects will be enough to elevate the traveler experience for visitors and residents alike. Wrongfully convicted man receives landmark settlement. In a major civil rights development, a man who was wrongfully convicted and served 38 years in prison has received a $25 million settlement from the city of Inglewood. This landmark payout brings a measure of justice to an individual whose life was stolen, but it also prompts a renewed and necessary discussion about systemic reforms within our local legal and law enforcement systems. That is the latest from your community. Stay blessed, and may God bless all of His people wherever they are at.